Imagine it's 1894. French physiologist Etienne Jules Marey drops the cat upside down and captures something on high-speed film that, well, literally breaks the minds of 19th century
Right,
physicists.
because it's a completely dead drop, zero initial spin.
Exactly, zero spin. Yet by the time it hits the ground, the cat is just perfectly on its feet.
It's wild.
It really is. Welcome to this deep dive, everyone. Today, our mission is to decode the falling cat problem. We are using a stack of historical physics research, biologist Greg Zibber's analyses, and a groundbreaking 2026 anatomical study from the Anatomical Record.
And I think the sheer mechanical paradox of erased footage is what makes it so enduring. Because of the conservation of angular momentum, a body in free fall just can't generate a net rotation out of nowhere.
Right.
The physics basically dictate that the net sum of the body's rotation has to remain zero. You can't just start spinning.
Okay, let's unpack this. The theoretical solution we usually hear is the tuck and turn mechanism. To me, it's exactly like a figure skater pulling their arms in to spin faster.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy. Yeah.
Right. Except the cat essentially divides its body in half. It tucks its front legs to minimize inertia, twisting the front half really fast while extending the back legs to, resist that twist.
Exactly. And then it reverses the posture to snap the back half around.
But looking at those older theoretical models, I have a hard time buying that a biological creature actually functions like a set of perfectly balanced mathematical hinges.
Well, you'd be right to be skeptical. Those early chalkboards modeled the cat's spine as uniformly flexible. But, a live animal isn't just a theoretical cylinder.
Yeah, clearly.
And that discrepancy is exactly why the 2026 Higurashi study is so crucial. They finally just abandoned the pure physics models to measure the actual biomechanics of the feline spine.
And what they found completely upends that uniform model. The thoracic spine, like the upper part, has drastically higher axial flexibility compared to the lumbar region.
Right.
The front half of the spine is practically built to twist, while the back half is relatively rigid.
What's fascinating here is that high-speed video totally confirms this.
Oh.
When they drop the cats, the front half doesn't just twist first. It completely dominates the orienting motion.
Wow.
Yeah, nature didn't build a uniform bend.
Yeah.
It evolved this highly specialized regional flexibility to execute the tuck and turn with maximum efficiency.
And that sort of biological messiness gives us my favorite wild detail from the live drops. The cats didn't just twist, they overwhelmingly preferred twisting to the right.
Yes, every single time for one specific cat, right?
Exactly. And Jebber hypothesizes this is likely tied to internal organ mass asymmetry.
Because the heart and the major vessels are naturally offset in the chest cavity.
Right, so because the heavier organs are offset, the cat naturally carries more momentum in that direction when it contracts. It's basically a default path of least resistance.
Which is brilliant.
It is. It's essentially using its own asymmetrical weight distribution to force the physics in its favor.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that specific mechanism is exactly what is rewriting modern robotics right now.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, biomimetic engineers are actively abandoning symmetrical designs.
Huh.
Like, if you're building a drone or a robotic dog that needs to survive an unexpected fall, you don't use uniform joints anymore.
You'd use something targeted.
Right. You concentrate a thoracic analog twist module at the front.
Oh, I see. So you could even intentionally off-center a heavy component like placing a dense battery pack completely on one side.
Precisely. By mimicking that internal organ asymmetry, you engineer a reliable, low-energy mid-air riding reflex. Hardware essentially does the work natively instead of relying on, complex software corrections mid-fall.
That is mind-blowing. It really makes
Yeah.
you look at the everyday pet napping on your sofa totally differently.
Oh, absolutely.
They are absolute master classes in dynamic shape-changing and geometric mechanics.
They truly are. But looking at these specific anatomical requirements, like the flexibility gradient and the mass distribution, it really leaves you wondering about the extreme variations we've bred into them.
Oh, for sure. If the whole strategy relies on this precise spinal build and weight asymmetry, what happens when the biology changes?
Right.
Do differently shaped breeds, say a long-bodied Siamese or a completely tailless Manx, they have entirely different mathematical writing codes hardwired into their nervous systems.
Well, the physics constraint of a net zero rotation won't change. But how a Manx compensates for the lack of tail momentum, or how a much longer spine alters that tuck and turn timing, that presents an entirely new set of biomechanical equations.
Fascinating stuff for you to mull over. So the next time you see a cat launch itself off a bookshelf, just remember that 1894 footage. They aren't breaking the laws of physics. They're just executing a much more sophisticated physics textbook than the rest of us. Thanks for joining us on this dive.